Wayne Dyer said that.
If you think about that, what it means is the highest form of intelligence is forgetting everything you think you know. Amanda Hart.
Namaste, fellow Toastmasters. Amanda and I are back to discuss some of the stereotypes about India, which most people have.
There were so many eye-opening experiences for me. There was enough information to write 6 more speeches.
In India Part 1, which was our last speech together, we learned that Namaste is a sacred greeting in India, which means I bow to you.
And there are many men in India who wear turbans for different reasons. Men in hot climates wear turbans to keep their head cool. And there are certain religious groups, such as the Sikhs, who never cut their hair because it's sacred. And it's wrapped up inside the turban.
We also learned that cows are indeed sacred in India to some people because they symbolize the Divine Mother who provides us all with milk.
And according to Arun, everything is sacred, even bugs. They believe that humans, animals, insects can all live together in harmony. They don't want the bugs on their body or in their house necessarily. They simply thank them for their presence, carry them outside without killing them.
It's not just animals and bugs which are sacred, even trees and plants are sacred too to some people. Majority of the Indian population consists of small subsistence farmers who have been growing their own food for thousands of years. But for this reason, they have had a very long relationship with plants and their food.
That looks really good to me, honey. We really should eat before we come to Toastmasters on Tuesday nights. The first meal that I was served in India, we washed our hands, we sat down to eat, and there was no silverware. In India, they tear off a piece of bread, and they pick up the wet and the dry, the rice and the dal, and they put the small piece in their mouth. Well, here I am, trying to pile it on like a pizza or wrap it like a taco, which only made me look more American. I really didn't get the hang of it. They had to break out the silverware and give me a spoon that they only keep reserved for guests. So tell me, Arun, why do Indians eat with their hands? It seems kind of messy or dirty at first.
Think about it like this. Would you consider love as messy or dirty?
What do you mean?
If I grow my own food, I have a long-term relationship with it, like a marriage. The moment I put the seed in the soil, to the moment when I harvest it, I am constantly touching it and handling it, often with love. At the final moment, when I'm about to consummate this relationship, and I bring the food to my lips to become one with me, why would I stab it with a fork?
Wow, you described that so sensuously. Skip the meal. Let's go back to my place. I'm afraid in America, our relationship with food begins and ends at the takeout window. May I ask you, I'm sorry, could you please give up your relationship with food so that I can keep my relationship with my mother? I can only imagine sitting down at our Thanksgiving dinner and Arun is picking up the mashed potatoes and gravy with his hands. Thanks, man.
My ancestors have been farming the Himalayan mountains for thousands of years now. The beautiful weather, sorry, and the rich soil produces some of the best apples in that region. In addition to apples, we also grow most of the food we eat, like grains, legumes, all kinds of fruits, vegetables, and herbs.
Oh yeah. There was plenty of herb growing everywhere, wild. We would walk 10 feet and pass $30,000 of marijuana, $60,000 of marijuana, $90,000 of marijuana. I have to say, that should have been your family's cash crop, not apples. A crop a day keeps Amanda's debt away.
That is hemp. Sorry, but you cannot make any money out of it over there, for it grows wild and free everywhere. Nobody buys or sells it.
Why is that? Is it illegal?
Illegal? That plant was growing in that region way before the first humans showed up. In fact, for some people, this is one of the, if not the most sacred plants there is. It has a long association with humans over there, and for more than 5,000 years, it's been used as a source of medicine, food, fiber to make clothes, ropes, canvas, and as a religious sacrament.
Wow, that's very interesting, but it's hard to believe. India is the second largest in population, 1.2 billion, only second to China. And you're telling me that there's no war against marijuana, there's no marijuana addiction, there's no crime related to marijuana? That's hard to believe.
No. With sacred practices, you only get enlightened to a higher state of being.
Well, it would have been very enlightening to have gone to see the Taj Mahal while we were in India. So one day we set out on this 6-hour trip to go see the Taj Mahal, only to find out after we get there that it's closed on Fridays. I don't understand that. The Taj Mahal, one of the 7 wonders of the world, to me should be open every single day of the week. I think of it like Disney World. Please explain, what is up with that?
I know. I should have known better. Fridays are in fact sacred days at the Taj, so it's a holiday.
You mean like a religious or a holy day?
Sure. It's a blessed day for the local entrepreneurs who make money off all the people who show up there on the wrong day.
That's horrible! That's horrible. There is nothing sacred about tricking unsuspecting visitors from their money. You've been using that sacred word, well, like it's not sacred. I mean, you've been using it with everything. I have to say, I love India, Arun, but bullshit. Everything cannot be sacred.
It is. In fact, bullshit is sacred too. Think about it. If the cow is sacred, then anything that comes out of the cow becomes sacred too. Where do you think the phrase comes from?
Holy shit!
I believe that most of our stereotypes, generalizations, and prejudices are born out of ignorance and fear. When we come together and learn a little bit more, we reduce our fear. And we can understand different cultures a little bit better.
I am glad that I have passed my delegation of the India subject to Arun. But I learned that all people laugh and cry. We all eat, worry, and die. There are far more similarities amongst us than our minute differences. We are 99.9% the same.
By coming together and learning a little bit more, we reduce our fear and we become one.
I believe when we speak together and laugh together, something sacred happens. Namaste.